the main event, Jon Moxley, Powerhouse Hobbs. I am fine with this match. There's a lot of people dunking on a lot more. I understand why. It wasn't a great match when it was the IWGP World Heavyweight Title. This one has.
He blew out his knee.
That's what I'm saying,
through, man.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't a great match, and people were saying that was a boring match. I was like, "Oh, he blew out his knee during the match." So
it feels like his chance at redemption.
That's what I think.
Get it back for him.
This is a redemption moment for Powerhouse Hobbs against Moxley. Mox obviously wants to put over Hobbs as much as he can, not to win the title, obviously, but and the thing that was missing with that IWGP World Title match, Scotty, is that we have a little bit more build here, right? Hobbs won the Casino Gauntlet, gets the title match here for Maximum Carnage in Cincinnati, Ohio. You have to imagine Moxley is going to go out there and work hard here. But it is this thing of, okay, Mox is going to win, and then what's next for Mox? Obviously, Cope is down the line. I guess Christian Cage is around the corner, but then you also have this other news of, like we kind of said with Tony Storm and Mariah May, there's this other news that we all suspect that Darby's down the line, but hey, Darby is about to go climb Mount Everest, so maybe he's not the person down the line. Or maybe he is, and we just are filling up with...
Have to wait forever.
Hobbs and Cope and Christian Cage, and maybe we just have to wait a little bit longer for Darby. But
waiting till All In seems to be what they're doing, and that is unbelievable to me that we have to wait that long. This title reign, I couldn't give a shit less about. I'm more interested in Hangman Page versus Christopher Daniels. And you know why? You know why I'm more pumped for it? Because Hangman Page should have been world champion. I'm going to keep saying it and saying it and saying it because this guy's done nothing. Nothing of note, of excitement since then.
Of interest.
He keeps turning chicken shit into chicken salad. That's what he's doing. Well, Jon Moxley is taking chicken salad and somehow making it chicken shit. I don't know how you do that. It's supposed to be the other way around. It's when you have lemons, you make lemonade. Well, no. When Jon Moxley has lemons, he just makes he just squirts into my eyes. This is bullshit. This is terrible. I if we have to wait till All In, I'm done with the world title.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Frustrating. It's so annoying.
Pointing out that we're probably waiting to All In is probably accurate. We all thought Revolution, and honestly, Revolution makes a lot of sense. But to be fair, that is a thing that we put on ourselves. To be fair, right?
100%.
We said on the show, it's like, oh yeah, Revolution makes sense, and now it's not Revolution. We're all like, how dare they? There was no promise of it being Revolution. It just made a lot of sense. But to be fair, Scotty, All In also makes sense. It's just that's in July. Enough. That's in July. Revolution would have been March, right? And we have to wait. We have to wait 6 months instead of 2 for the end of this world title program. At this point, it is Pivot City for me. That's kind of what I'm saying. Assuming, and by the way, this is all assuming that Darby Allin's the guy that's going to win the world title.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, we got to pivot, man. Revolution, you got to have a new champion. I don't care, honestly, who it is right now. You just need to swerve when you drive. Maybe Swerve. Swerve would be a great pacifier for this. You know who would also be a great pacifier? A returning Samoa Joe, because he's done it before. He saved the world once. Why not do it again? Then he can put over Darby perfectly. He would actually be fantastic.
Foley makes sense too. They got a whole storyline. They got all background.
I've now talked myself into Samoa Joe winning the world title. That is not good for my health. God. We know Kenny's not going to be the guy. He has a clear direction after Wednesday, which is fine. It all leads to Okada. We know this. So that's fine. I don't have a problem. I just would have liked it. I've accepted it. But you have all these guys. Fucking pivot to Ospreay. Who gives a shit? Come on, man.
Ospreay is possibly heading into a feud with House of Black. I'm just going to discount what all the rumors about Malachi Black and everything out there. I'm just going to throw that away for now.
You just prepare for it to come
Just
back.
because it's like every 6 months we get another rumor of
Yeah.
Malachi Black leaving the company. So I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
Ricky Starks in about 2 months, by the way, the next rumor.
so I'm just gonna push that to the side for right now. Right now, to me, it looks like he's about to feud with House of Black, and I'm like, I don't care about that. Put him in the
Let's
world
the
title.
Callis family for the 9th time instead.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Kenny. Oh, I mean, you're gonna absolutely love.
Oh, of course I am. Of course I am.
Ospreay versus Fletcher and Takeshita. You're already just asking how many quarters do you add to 4? That's what you're asking at the moment.
Hassan Albani has a great point in the chat here. Great comment. People online getting bored of Darby's reign before he even started, and I totally agree. I don't necessarily. I don't necessarily fully agree because I think it's obviously unfair to say that. But
it's true though.
But the sentiment is fully accurate, and the fact that all of this, everyone has picked Darby, everyone picked Revolution, and now that Darby's like, I'm gonna be gone because guess what? If it's not happening till All in Texas, I got 6 months to go climb Mount Everest anyways. So it all makes sense, but that's all stuff that we put on ourselves. It makes sense for me, Darby. But because everyone's expectations have been shot, AEW has not done well with managing expectations here. And the Moxley storyline sucks for a large part of it. Everyone is now writing off Darby, who hasn't even gotten a chance. So all of this, if they go to Darby, Scotty, is not gonna work because the crowd doesn't care anymore. And it's frustrating to see that. It's frustrating to see people write off a reign that hasn't even started, but it's fully what's happening. And I think it's
valid.
I fully understand why people feel that way.
I think it's very funny watching an AEW TV show now because like all these things will get reactions. And then when the world title story is being told, nothing. Not a single peep in that building.
Yeah.
No one cares. That's not good. That's really bad, actually. I don't know. Fun fact, really bad.
Some will argue. Some will argue that's really
some
bad.
will argue indeed. Like I don't know, man. I think things need to be fixed. Things need to be pivoted. We've said it multiple weeks now. And the fact that Darby is not going to be here, right? He's going to be doing Mount Everest, something that, by the way, is very dangerous. I just want to point out, like, this is not a safe and simple thing that he's doing. Man, so are we at a point? Let me ask you, Ryan.
Okay.
Because I am. Where you don't really care about the next steps of either world title in this company, even remotely, because that's where I'm at.
Oh, I mean, Tony Storm, Mariah May.
We knew that one. We've been into that one.
Well, here's the thing. We knew that one, and assuming, again, our expectations were set properly, assuming it's happening next month with Tony Storm, and Tony Storm finally gets that win.
Finally gets that win. She was champion forever.
Yeah. I'll be fine with it. It really, like, that part, that frustration isn't like waiting forever. It is more Mariah May's reign.
Something new. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's more of like Mariah May's reign wasn't that great, and it was like, okay,
Right.
We need to do something else. But we're still going to this. Here, it's the same sort of boat with Moxley, where it's like the reign hasn't been that great, but now instead of waiting 2 months, it looks like we're waiting 6 months. And Darby's heading to Everest because he's also waiting 6 months. And, I feel like I mentioned on the show previously, like, there is something to this idea of, if I could be a devil's advocate for a second, Scotty, I'm not fully interested in waiting that long for the result of this Moxley feud, because that means we're going to get 6 more months of a Moxley reign that isn't good. Can he turn around? Maybe. I mean, if he starts wrestling Ospreay and Takeshita and all these other guys, yeah, I'll turn it around. But, like, if I were to be devil's advocate for a second, there is something to Darby finally climbing Mount Everest, both out of the ring and in the ring, right? There is a nice poetic ending there where Moxley, where Darby leaves, climbs Mount Everest after year, unable to do it, getting hit by a bus, getting all these sort of things, injuries to take him off the shelf where he can't climb Mount Everest, and he's finally able to do it, and then come back and at the biggest show for AEW this year at All In Texas, climb Mount Everest in the ring, beat Jon Moxley for the world title. There's something very poetic and beautiful about that. The problem is that is only interesting of a moment in July. Where right now it sucks because that's not happening. We're not even telling that story right now. We're not going to tell that story, Scotty, for like 4 months, 5 months, maybe. Right now, they don't know they don't know how to tell the story right now because they're busy telling the story of the end. They have not figured out how to write the middle. They know how to write. They knew how to write the beginning. They knew how to write the ending, but they have no idea how to write the middle. It was the same issue with the Mariah May and Tony Storm storyline that's currently happening. That's finally coming to an end, potentially, assuming it's the end. It's the same situation that we're currently in with the world title. Whoever is the booker, the storyline maker for those 2 world titles, which, if rumor has it, Scotty, is the same person, they do not know how to write the middle of these stories.
So this brings up a funny point. If you want to hear the full audio, you can listen to it on the Patreon. But on the RPR Quarterly, you asked me who beats Cody Rhodes, and I think it's fascinating the difference between mindsets for these 2 companies and how they book their world title feuds. When Roman won that world title,
I just want to say, I love you. I love where this is going.
When Roman won the title, it was, who's going to win it? I don't know. We'll get there. Who's going to win it? I don't know. We'll get there. And they created some of their best TV of forever, right? Like, people love the Bloodline story and all this.
At least a decade, probably 2.
And it ultimately leads to the biggest moment. Cody wasn't even the company when the reign started.
Yeah.
Right? But it ultimately led to this big thing. And now we're talking about Cody. Who's going to beat Cody? I don't know. We'll see when we get there. Right?
Yeah.
That's how they're booking. While AEW is, okay, we have the point A and point B. It's a matter of everything in the middle that we don't have figured out. Everything in the middle is how you make point B interesting. Right? And if you can't make everything in the middle work, no one's going to care when you get to point B.
Yeah.
And that is where we're at. That is I think that is the biggest difference between these 2 companies right now. WWE is worried about everything to get there. AEW is worried about the destination. And right now, it's very clear that getting there is more important than the destination, because if I'm not interested, by the time you get to the destination, it was all for naught. It was all like a waste of time. And right now, unfortunately, it sure does feel like it's a waste of time with this title reign.